Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my YouTube channel. Today, we will be discussing the 4 ways to build wealth using real estate. Before we get into it, please subscribe, like, comment, unsubscribe, re-like, resubscribe, comment, just engage with the channel because that's how more people find this channel and can learn from the lessons that I teach. So, to get into it, the first way to build wealth in real estate, cash flow. Everybody loves cash flow because it reoccurs and it hits your bank account on a periodic basis, whether that be monthly, whether that be quarterly. You always can guarantee that it'll come if you have your properties rented and operating correctly. And this is a very powerful part of real estate because not only does it pay its owners, but it's how commercial property is valued. When you go to a bank or you go to a buyer, the first thing they're going to ask you is how much cash flow after all the expenses your property earns. And from that number, they will derive the value of the property. And so that leads us to the second way to build wealth in real estate, and that is appreciation. The reason cash flow leads to appreciation is because, again, your property is valued by how much cash flow it brings in. Therefore, if you bring in more cash flow, your property has a higher value. And if you can buy a property and increase the cash flow after you've bought it, then your property will appreciate. And the difference between what you bought it at and what it's worth after you've increased that cash flow is what's called appreciation. And that goes directly to your net worth. Number 3, principal paydown. Now stick with me here because this one needs a little bit of explanation. When you buy a property, generally, more often than not, you will go to a bank and get a mortgage. And what that mortgage allows you to do is to lever up the equity that you have in the property in order to buy the full property. Let me explain. If a property is worth $1 million and you have $250,000, you can go to your local bank and borrow the rest. That'll be $750,000 in mortgage that you couple with your $250,000 in equity to buy the $1 million property. So how does debt pay down, the paying down of that mortgage, increase your net worth? Well, here's how it works. When you pay your mortgage, you pay what's called an interest rate, which is effectively the cost of the money that you borrowed. A portion of the mortgage payment on a monthly basis goes towards that interest rate. Another portion goes towards paying down the mortgage that you originally took out. So again, a portion goes to the interest, but another portion goes to the principal. So again, you ask, how does this help me build wealth? Well, if you bought the property correctly and it cash flows, then the mortgage payments that you are making should be coming from the cash flow of the property as opposed to your own bank account. Therefore, that piece of the mortgage that's paying down the principal is actually being paid by the property, not you. And as the property pays down that principal, you gain more equity in the property, therefore increasing your net worth. Number 4, depreciation. So depreciation, similar to the principal paydown, needs a little bit of an explanation. But essentially it's this. When you buy a property, the government wrote into the tax code that over time, real assets, that being the roof, the flooring, the amenities within the property, the appliances in the apartments, those assets will depreciate in value because they can't be used forever. They deteriorate and they need to be replaced or fixed. Therefore, there is a line item in the tax code that allows you to take expenses that haven't actually occurred yet, but are expected to do so. That, my friends, is Shadow the Great Dane, my 140-pound puppy that loves to make noise when I'm recording. But anyway, back to depreciation. So as those expenses are removed from your income, even though you don't actually make the repairs or make the changes in roofing, painting, flooring in the property, you get to take those expenses out of your income. Therefore, you pay taxes on less income. And the difference between what is actually incurred in regards to expenses and the expenses that you put on your taxes is the depreciation. And as you take that down from your income, you pay less income tax, therefore retaining more of your cash flow and increasing your wealth. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe to the channel to hear more real estate tips. Thank you.